Former Race Across the World contestant Sam Gardiner, who captured hearts across the UK and beyond with his unfiltered joy, close bond with his mother, and unmistakable zest for life, has tragically passed away following a devastating car crash. The 24-year-old landscape gardener, known not just for his green thumb but for the infectious energy he brought into every room he walked into, was driving alone on the A34 near Manchester late Monday night when disaster struck. According to the Greater Manchester Police, his car veered off the road under circumstances still being investigated. It rolled before coming to rest on its side, crumpled and scarred by the violent motion that forever changed the trajectory of those who knew and loved him. Emergency responders arrived quickly at the scene and transported Sam to a nearby hospital. Despite the valiant efforts of medical staff, his injuries proved too severe. He succumbed to them on Thursday. The official confirmation of his passing came in a heart-wrenching statement from his grieving family, who described Sam not just as a beloved son and nephew, but as a light in their lives, a soul too rare to be forgotten. In a reality television landscape that often prizes drama over substance, Sam stood apart. Appearing on the second season of the BBC series Race Across the World alongside his mother Jo, Sam didn't just participate in a game. He offered viewers something more, a raw, unpolished, beautifully human glimpse into a mother-son relationship marked by mutual respect, unspoken understanding, and deep-rooted affection. As they journeyed across the length and breadth of South America, traversing unfamiliar lands and facing the unique physical and emotional trials the race posed, Sam's connection with Jo became a central emotional pillar of the series. It wasn't about winning, for Sam and Jo, it was about sharing a once-in-a-lifetime adventure. The moments between them, whether lighthearted bickering over logistics or quiet exchanges of admiration and support, felt authentic in a way that's rare on television. It's no wonder they quickly became fan favorites. Audiences found themselves rooting not just for their success in the competition, but for their joy, their growth, and their journey together as mother and son. Sam once described his time on the show as life-changing, a sentiment that encapsulates more than just the physical journey he undertook. Through each leg of the race, viewers watched him grow, not in stature or skill, but in spirit. He marveled at the colors of the world around him, took joy in the simple pleasures of travel, and, perhaps most importantly, discovered new depths within himself. His mother Jo, a seasoned traveler in her own right, was often his guide, not just across the terrain but through the unfamiliar challenges life on the road presented. And Sam, ever curious and open-hearted, embraced each moment with a sense of wonder that only made his sudden death all the more painful to comprehend. The final leg of their journey in the series was one they never completed. Funds ran out before the end, forcing them to exit the race early. But that was never the point for Sam. As he later shared in interviews, it wasn't about the prize or crossing the finish line, it was about the bond he forged and the memories he collected. The journey, for Sam, was the destination. And what a journey it was. Landscapes and locals, languages and lessons, each step seemed to enrich him, adding layers to his already vibrant soul. That enthusiasm never faded. Even after the cameras stopped rolling, Sam spoke often of how the experience had changed him, given him a hunger for life, for exploration, for connection. In the days since the news of his passing broke, tributes have poured in from all corners. From fellow contestants to loyal fans of the series, and most especially from those who knew him best, the collective grief is palpable. His parents, Jo and Andrew, offered a joint statement that captured the overwhelming heartbreak they are now forced to carry. They described themselves as devastated, struggling to articulate a pain that language simply cannot reach. Sam left us far too soon, they said, their words heavy with sorrow, and while words will never fully capture the light, joy, and energy he brought into our lives, we hold on to the memories that made him so special. And indeed, those memories are countless. Family gatherings where Sam would light up the room with laughter, long walks in the garden where he found peace among the plants, spontaneous weekend adventures that he always approached with the spirit of a child seeing the world for the first time, these are the moments they cling to now. Fragments of a life that ended too soon but burned so brightly while it lasted. They went on to describe Sam as someone adored by his family, a son, a brother, a nephew, a cousin who left a lasting impression on everyone he met. He was loyal to a fault, always the first to step in when someone needed help. He was funny, with a sharp wit and a quick smile that disarmed even the most skeptical hearts. And he was fiercely protective, especially of those he loved. That protective streak was never more evident than during his time on the show, where his tenderness toward his mother became a recurring theme. Whether helping her navigate a difficult path or simply offering a hand when she needed one, Sam's actions spoke volumes about the kind of man he was. Sam's uncle, Johnny Gray, added further dimension to the picture of Sam that the world has now lost. In his remarks to the BBC, Johnny painted a portrait of a young man grounded in simple joys, gardening, animals, and physical activity. These weren't just hobbies. They were passions that anchored Sam, gave him purpose, and connected him to the natural world in a way that seemed almost spiritual. He wasn't interested in pretense. What you saw was what you got, Johnny said. There was an honesty in Sam that is hard to come by, a refusal to be anything other than himself. He didn't posture. He didn't perform. He simply existed as he was, and in doing so, invited others to do the same. That authenticity resonated with viewers, many of whom saw reflections of their own relationships in the bond between Sam and Joe. Their dynamic was at once familiar and aspirational, a reminder of the deep, enduring connection that can exist between parent and child when built on love, respect, and shared experience. Johnny recalled how well the pair were received on the show, saying they were an enormous hit, and noting how much the public truly embraced them. There was something undeniably magnetic about them, something that made people feel like they were watching a piece of their own lives unfold on screen. Tributes from fellow contestants further highlighted the profound impact Sam had on those around him. Eamon Chowdhury, who won the second series of the show with his nephew Jamiel, shared a heartfelt post on social media that echoed the sentiments of many. He described Sam as pure sunshine in human form, a phrase that seemed to capture his radiant presence perfectly. For Eamon, and for so many others, Sam's kindness stood out above all else. It was a kindness that didn't demand recognition or fanfare, it simply existed, a quiet force for good in a world that often feels too noisy to notice. His kindness was a beacon for anyone lucky enough to cross his path, Eamon wrote, adding that Sam and his mother showed us what it truly means to live fully, love fiercely, and embrace every moment with an open heart. These words strike a chord because they ring so true. Sam did live fully. He loved fiercely. And he embraced every moment not just as a fleeting tick on the clock, but as a gift, precious, fleeting, and worth cherishing. It's that embrace of life that makes his loss feel so particularly cruel. Here was a young man who had found joy in the world around him, who had unlocked the secret to living deeply and meaningfully, and just as he was beginning to write new chapters in his life, his story was cut short. The unfairness of it is staggering. 24 years. That's all the time he had. But those who knew him would tell you he packed more living into those years than many do in a lifetime.